The most expensive house in the world is a sight to behold, and it cost billions. You may not have the luxury of time to travel around to see them, but then this video is here to help you out. Sit back as we take your eyes on a journey to one of the most beautiful places in the world, the most expensive house in the world. Claiming the title of the most expensive place in the world is Buckingham Palace, and it is worth a whopping sum of $2.9 billion. Buckingham Palace is owned by the British royal family, and it is not the only luxurious property that the family boasts of. Buckingham Palace is a London royal residence and the administrative headquarters of the monarch of the United Kingdom. The palace is located in the city of Westminster and is often at the center of state occasions and royal hospitality. Buckingham Palace has been a focal point for the British people at times of national rejoicing and mourning. It's been the official residence of the monarchy since 1873. In terms of size, Buckingham Palace sits on an 830,000 square feet expanse of land. Buckingham Palace was originally known as Buckingham House. The building, which is now at the core of today's palace, was a large townhouse built for the Duke of Buckingham in 1703 on a site that had been in private ownership for at least 150 years. The townhouse was acquired by King George IV in 1761 as a private residence for Queen Charlotte. The townhouse was later tagged the Queen's House. The building was later enlarged during the 19th century, and this was done by architects John Nash and Edward Bloor, who constructed 3 wings around a central courtyard. Buckingham Palace became the London residence of the British monarch on the accession of Queen Victoria in 1837. The last major structural additions were made in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, including the east front. The addition includes the well-known balcony on which the royal family traditionally appears to greet crowds. During the Second World War, a German bomb destroyed the palace chapel. The Queen's Gallery was built on the site and opened to the public in 1962 to exhibit works of art from the royal collection. Let's take a look at the old interiors. The original early 19th century interior designs of the palace, many of which survive, include widespread use of brightly colored scagliola and blue and pink lapis. These interiors were made due to the advice of Sir Charles Long. King Edward VII oversaw a partial redecoration in a Belle Epoque cream and gold color scheme. There are many smaller reception rooms that are furnished in the Chinese Regency style with furniture and fittings brought from the Royal Pavilion at Brighton and from Carlton House. The palace has 775 rooms, and the garden is the largest private garden in London. Its garden alone is about 40 acres. There are staterooms too, which were used for official and state entertainment purposes. The staterooms are open to the public each year for most of August and September, and on some days in winter and spring. The current interiors. According to official research, the front of the palace measures 355 feet across, 390 feet deep, and 80 feet high, and contains over 830,000 square feet of floor space. There are 775 rooms, including 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, 78 bathrooms, 52 principal bedrooms, and 19 staterooms. It also has a post office, cinema, swimming pool, doctor's surgery, and jeweler's workshop. We can say the palace is an estate by itself. The royal family occupies a small suite of private rooms in the north wing. The principal rooms. This is where you'll find the music room, its large bow making the area spectacularly beautiful. On each side of the music room are the blue and the white drawing rooms. At the center of the suite, serving as a corridor to link the staterooms, is the picture gallery, which is top-lit and 55 yards long. The gallery has a lot of beautiful artworks, including some by Rembrandt, Van Dyck, Rubens, and Vermeer. Other rooms leading from the picture gallery are the throne room and the green drawing room. The green drawing room is a huge room that serves as an anteroom to the throne room, and it is part of the ceremonial route to the throne from the guard room at the top of the grand staircase. The palace guard room contains white marble statues of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert in Roman costume, set in a tribune lined with tapestries. These rooms are very formal, and they are only used for ceremonial and official entertaining. However, they are open to the public every summer. Semi-state apartments. Directly underneath the state apartments are the less grand semi-state apartments. The semi-state apartments open from the Marble Hall. The rooms here are less formal than the staterooms and are used for less formal entertaining, such as luncheon parties and private audiences. At the center of this floor is the Bow Room, through which thousands of guests pass annually to the monarch's garden parties. When paying a state visit to Britain, foreign heads of state are usually entertained by the monarch at Buckingham Palace. These foreign heads are allocated an extensive suite of rooms known as the Belgian Suite. The Belgian Suite is situated at the foot of the minister's staircase, on the ground floor of the west-facing garden wing. Some of the rooms are named and decorated for particular visitors, such as the 1844 room, decorated in that year for the state visit of Nicholas I of Russia, and the 1855 room, in honor of the visit of Napoleon I of France. The former is a sitting room that also serves as an audience room and is often used when there's a need to personally invest these dignitaries with honors or ranks. From these rooms, narrow corridors link the rooms of the suite. One of the corridors is given extra height and perspective by saucer domes designed by Nash in the style of Soane. A second corridor in the suite has Gothic-influenced crossover vaulting. This particular suite was named after Leopold I of Belgium, uncle of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. In 1936, the suite briefly became the private apartments of the palace when Edward VII occupied them. Palace East Wing. Between 1847 and 1850, when Bloor was building the new East Wing, the Brighton Pavilion was once again plundered of its fittings. As a result, many of the rooms in the new wing have a distinctly Oriental atmosphere. Robert Jones and Richard Westmacott worked well on the red and blue Chinese luncheon room, which is made up of parts of the Brighton banqueting and music rooms with a large Oriental chimney piece. Robert Jones was the designer while Richard Westmacott was the sculptor. The ornate clock, known as the Kailan clock, was made in Jingdezhen, Jiangxi Province, China in the second half of the 18th century. It was later moved by Benjamin Vulliamy circa 1820. The yellow drawing room has wallpaper supplied in 1817 for the Brighton Saloon, and a chimney piece which is a European vision of how the Chinese chimney piece may appear. It has nodding mandarins in niches and fearsome winged dragons, designed by Robert Jones. At the center of the dragon's wings is the famous balcony with the center room behind its glass doors. This style of interior is a Chinese-style saloon that was enhanced by Queen Mary, who worked with the designer, Sir Charles Allom, in creating a more binding Chinese theme in the late 1920s, although the lacquer doors were brought from Brighton in 1873. Running the length of the piano nobile of the East Wing is the Great Gallery, modestly known as the Principal Corridor, which runs the length of the eastern side of the quadrangle. The principal corridor has mirrored doors and mirrored cross walls reflecting porcelain pagodas and other Oriental furniture from Brighton. The Chinese luncheon room and yellow drawing room are situated at each end of this gallery, with the center room in between. What do you think about this house? Let us know down in the comments section.